Because today's a short day, I guess.
Okay, we gotta start?
Yes.
Alright, my name is Pablo Barron, Garcia Hernandez. And I read the book called Blindness by Jose Sarah something? Saramago?
Saramago.
Okay. What? Okay. I'm excited. Alright. The summary of my book, well, let me give you some background information. There was a disease spreading. It was causing people to go blind, but not like a regular blind. It was causing people to only see white. Usually blind people see black. And it all started during a traffic light. That's where the first victim appeared. The lights turned green, he couldn't go because he couldn't see. When they escorted him home, his wife attended him. His wife attended him, they went to the doctor. The doctor told him there was nothing wrong with his eyes, that they were perfect, but he couldn't explain why he couldn't see. And the doctor said it will go over time. The next morning, the doctor goes blind. And so does all the rest of his patients. And because of that, people start rioting, saying why is this going on? So the thing they do is they escort all the people to a abandoned mental hospital. But the thing is, they escort them with no supervision. They just put them in the mental hospital, even though they are blind. They can't do nothing themselves. After a while, the hospital starts piling up with more and more victims, to the point where it's causes rioting and the thing. And one of the blind gets a hold of the gun. Blind with the gun, not good. He hoards all the food, and he holds all the food, and then he tells people that he's only going to give them food unless they give him the valuables. Since they only brought a limited amount of stuff, in a couple of weeks they have nothing to give him. So the guy with the gun in his ward, I guess, says that he'll give food for women. So the women go in there so they won't starve to death, and bring back food for their wards. After a while, the doctor's wife, which is one of the people that can see in the hospital. She kills the guy with the gun. They start a riot. They leave. When they leave, they realized that there was no guards guarding them anymore. So they escaped. They went through town looking at the disaster that happened. They try to find each other's houses. Since the doctor's wife is the only one that can see, she's the one that has to clean up after them, do everything for them, and lead them. Finally they get to the doctor's house, his wives, after visiting their wives and the clinic they went to and all that. But the clinic that the doctor worked in, they went to the house, they settled there, and throughout all this, they had a limited amount of food. So every day the woman had to go look for food, bring back. Some of them didn't eat. And after, toward by the end of the story, they start recovering their eyesight, and they start going through town, hearing people scream out, I can see, and that's where the book ends. Okay. My quote was, perhaps only in the world blind will things be the way they truly are. And I picked a picture of a maze. The maze symbolizes how people were confused, and they were confused because they couldn't see. They were just thrown somewhere. So you're thrown somewhere and you're blind in a new environment. You don't know where things are. So people were just causing disaster. And and this maze shows their confusion. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know where to go. And the white obviously represents the way the people saw everything. They only saw white. And I'm guessing, and the man in the picture, I symbolized her as a woman. since she's the one that had to lead, clean up everybody's mess, since she was like partly the only person that can see, so she had to do everything without being, like, what you call it, without people knowing that she can see. So she had to do all the cleaning, all the leading. Yeah. Next time. Okay. If we cannot live entirely like human beings, at least let us do everything in our power to not live entirely like animals. I picked this quote because I picked this one man, he's standing in front of the police. Like, what I probably took from this is that one person can, like, just lead, one person can start disaster, like the man with the gun, because since he got there, he started refusing everything that the doctor was saying, since he was like the leader, since his wife could see. So he would lead everybody, tell everybody what to do. The guy didn't want to listen to him. And because of that, everybody thought that he was right. So nobody would start listening to the doctor, and that's what caused the riots and all that stuff in the hospital. And, yeah. When is it necessary to kill? When somebody that is alive or is dead. I picked this quote because it showed that, first of all, it showed how the hospital was in horrible conditions since it was abandoned. Also, it shows how, what you call it, it shows, anyway, go back to the quote. This shows how the doctor's wife decided to kill the man with the gun because one of the people in the ward had already killed one of the women. So she thought it was necessary to kill him. She didn't think it was necessary to kill him before that because she didn't want to be like what I said in the previous quote. She didn't want to be that animal. Yeah. That was my book, you guys.